All right, welcome to another episode of Global Politics Africa. We're going back to focus on South Africa and on something strange that happened. An airplane flying in in Palestine ended up in South Africa with Palestinian immigrants, and this was an illegal move. Now, fortunately for these people, after they were denied entry in the airplane and had to wait for 12 hours, Ramaphosa stepped in and said, as an act of mercy, he was going to let these guys in. And these guys have been guaranteed by the Gift of God NGO, which is started by a guy named Suleiman in Cape Town. What we want to focus on this show is that it's good for South Africa to help Palestinians, but we don't want South Africa to now become a country that facilitates ethnic cleansing. And this is what I mean. The Israelis want Palestinians out of Palestine. They want to take that land. And when nations around the world start accepting Palestinian refugees, they're helping Israel reach its goal of clearing the area. Now, we know we're not saying that South Africa shouldn't allow these people in, but it's a funny situation because it'll be the same as if whites wanted to clear all of South Africa. So they started killing black people. And then the black people in South Africa are getting killed. So they said, we need to leave. Then countries like America say, oh, we'll help the black South Africans. Yes, you're helping them. But what you're doing is you're also helping the white South Africans clear all the blacks in their land. So it's a tricky situation. I'm not saying that South Africa should stop letting people in, but we want to know if the South African government knew about this, and if they're just accepting these people like this, they need to blow the whistle on this situation because this situation needs to be dealt by the international world, not by South Africa itself. And what really needs to be done is sanctions need to be put on South Africa so that, not South Africa, on Israel, so that they don't just ship people away. And from what I hear, these people that enter this plane, their families had to pay each $2,000 to the company that's doing this. It's a company owned by Israelis. I don't have the name right now. I'll get the name for you. But this is a company, and they don't even know who is the owner of this company. This is basically Israel taking money from people that they're killing and then shipping them to countries in which they don't even notify the government, supposedly. Now, the Gift of God Foundation in South Africa says that in October, some people came illegally also and tipped them that there would be more people coming in illegally. And they said that they tried to notify the government, but they didn't get through to the government. I think this NGO, Gift of God, is facilitating this thing. How do you bring in illegal immigrants? The first group, how did the government not know? And then you said, oh, we tried to let them know about the second one coming in. I'm going to theorize that they're getting paid by Israel to bring these people in, and they knew it. They said they tried to tip off the government. And they said that when they tried to tip off the government, they had to go through many channels. How hard is it to get the South African government to know that illegal immigrants from Palestine are being shipped into South Africa through a South African airspace, through its borders, and you're telling me that you couldn't get in touch with them? So it makes me wonder if the government itself is involved or what else is going on. What do you think?
Okay, so it's a very complicated issue that we have to look at when we think about this thing because it's actually been very clear. We've always known that some of the Palestinians have been trapped and have been actually desperate to get out of Palestine because it's like a prison. They cannot move freely. Many want to move in and out. Some want to move in and out for medical reasons. Some want to move out, maybe vulnerable people like women and children, and then and then they themselves might want to stick it out. So some want to stick it out, and so it's not quite clear on which side Ramaphosa's decisions fall in respect of what he wants to do. But I don't think that he's aiding ethnic cleansing in Gaza. I think on the contrary, I think he's very critical of Israel's military and so on and so forth. I think that his actions, I don't think, I don't think that he was in conjunction with whoever it was that facilitated that action. You have to remember that Ramaphosa is not really the strong man of South Africa, that he can influence everything that happens there. In some cases, it could be something that involves Elon Musk, because you know that when there's going to be mischief around Gaza and America and vulnerable people being moved about, it's going to involve that axis of powers more likely than Ramaphosa in South Africa.
That no, but my question is, how does an airplane get into South Africa and bring in illegal immigrants and customs doesn't know about it because they didn't have their papers? The first one went in October and they got in there and they went to Cape Town to an NGO in Cape Town. Now the second one, the people stopped them. So the second one they didn't get through the government, through the customs, and they stopped them and didn't allow them in. Then after Ramaphosa stepped in, they allowed them in. My question is, how did the first airplane come in? So this is a breach of South African airspace and security. If so, even if Ramaphosa is not involved, this shows a high level of incompetence within South Africa if these people can get in. And I don't believe there's any way they got through customs without somebody knowing. There was a plane that brought in illegal Palestinians in October,
Yes.
and they got to this NGO in Cape Town, the Gift of God. That one got through the South African air through into South Africa through customs without, and these guys were illegal. Either they let them through, or they let them through illegal immigrants, or they got through and they were not detected. Now, the second time they were stopped in November. This is the recent one, and they weren't allowed entry. But after Ramaphosa stepped in, so my question is, how did they get in the first time? I find it hard to believe they went through customs without their documents and nobody flagged it or spotted it. What are your thoughts? Yeah.
Yeah, I'm thinking power past power there. I genuinely do believe that the South African authorities that were involved are pretty much more on the old apartheid side of South Africa's government because there's still powerful elements within there that are able
Yeah,
to do
basically, it's a
things
white
that
NGO,
Ramaphosa would not.
white people.
Yeah, exactly. I don't think that is something that Ramaphosa had the ability to stop. I think that if he had seen it or had been able to stop it, he would have raised it up and done everything. And I think that if that story develops any further, I think that I expect to see him challenge and question what exactly happened there. I do believe it's
And
suspicious.
and then the next question is, will they be accept now that this has happened? What is Ramaphosa going to do when another plane bringing in illegal people come in? Is he going to continue allowing them in? Because we know that in South Africa they don't want Nigerians, they don't want black people, and they say that we must go. You're letting in these people. But I guess these people are coming for humanitarian. But does that mean now that if someone leaves South Africa, Nigeria, because Christians are getting killed, and they come to South Africa, can we also come in illegally? And will Ramaphosa allow us? So even though you don't want to push back Palestinian immigrants, you're setting a precedence in which you're letting illegal people come in with mercy and everything. And we're wondering, it's very problematic because what you're doing is you're helping Israel take these people's land and capitalize off of their desperation. So they want to leave the country. So by allowing them to come in, you're actually helping Israel cleanse that place. But at the same time, you have the moral dilemma of letting them in too. So my question is, South Africa needs to take a very good look at its immigration policy and might as well just say anybody who's in danger or who's in need, we'll allow them in. But at the same time, push even though South Africa doesn't have the power, we need to push so that the Palestinians don't have to leave their country. Because what will happen is that all of them will be shipped away, and then Israel will win because all of Palestine will be occupied by white people, which is their goal. And then they will say, yeah, because South Africa took the Palestinians, USA took them, or funny enough, USA won't take them. They'll start shipping them to African countries and to Asia, places like Pakistan and co. Do you see what I'm saying? So you're helping them, you're helping the Palestinians, but at the same time, you're helping Israel. So it's like a double-edged sword. What do you think?
Well, the largest population of Palestinians are actually that are expelled from their countries are actually within the Middle East. That's the largest, closest to
Yeah, yeah,
several
yeah,
million.
yeah.
When I look at what's happening with this effort at what could be suspected as seen to be ethnic cleansing, the question is that these Palestinians that are running away, they actually want a right of return. That's one of the things that they contest. And they're saying that, they've been thrown out because the place is uninhabitable for now, but they want a right of return to come back. Because as we know, Gaza has about, is it 9 billion cubic feet of gas? There is a lot of money there.
Also, remember, we're
You know,
focusing on South Africa here. We're not so much focusing on Gaza.
yeah, I'm talking about the Gaza, I'm talking about the Palestinians that want to leave, that want to be refugees. And when they
Yeah.
say that they want to be ethnically cleansed, they don't want to leave and not come back. I'm just saying that there's valuable things for them to come back to. So when they're apparently running away from their countries to South Africa. It's very complicated to know exactly what's going on, whether Ramaphosa is to blame, whether he's actually saving some people in the hope they go back, or whether the white government and the Western governments are actually um, um, cooperating to make sure that they take these people out of Gaza and they never come back, and whether
Here's what
South
happens.
Africa is
If
complicit
here's
and
what happens.
Ramaphosa is
If
complicit.
Israel permanently, so here's
Very,
the thing. If Kule, it's a big risk. If Israel permanently keeps Palestine, and these people are never allowed to return. Now this is more mouths to feed for South Africa, more mouths to feed. I think the other Middle East countries, I think they're willing to do this because they've been paid off by the U.S. But what I'm saying is that, what if a million Palestinians are sent into South Africa now, illegals, and South Africa lets them in? That puts more pressure on the country's economy and everything else. I'm not saying that it's wrong for South Africa, but what I'm saying is that it's a very, very delicate and unfortunate situation because
but they're also trying to
South
make them
Africa can't even
complicit.
feed its own people, can't even feed its own people, and is taking in people
Yeah, they're also trying to make
illegally.
South Africa appear complicit because they have taken these people to the ICJ. So because of that, they're going to have to try to do things to discredit this government, the criticisms, and whatever
Yeah,
it is that
and
they're
like you
doing.
said, these guys came in on illegal planes into South Africa. Illegal. They came in through planes and got through customs. I'm talking about the first group, and this is a white or at least white, a lot of white powerful. It's called the Gift of Givers. It's owned by a colored Muslim guy, but we know that this is a front NGO. So my thing is that the white South Africans, like you said, probably with the help of people like Elon Musk, are letting these people come in, and it's because it's clear what's going on for South Africans, especially if you're black. This is what's going on. Israel wants to do like the whites did to you. They want to go and take the land and kill the Palestinians. And then white South Africans say, yeah, go ahead, kill them. We'll take them. We'll take them so long as you give our NGO billions of dollars. We'll take them. So you can continue killing them and making them run away, and we will receive them. So
And it's all, yes, and it's,
forces within South Africa are enabling. This is a theory. I'm not saying it's true. Are enabling the genocide. It's sort of like if I go to say, Kunle, let's go kill those people in the house, and then if you want to kill them, and I said, don't worry, if you pay me, I'll take them into my house too. Go ahead and kill them, and then when they start running away, I'll take them, but make sure you pay me. Do you see what I'm saying? And
well, I mean, I
indirectly,
can go further than that. Many of the soldiers that are in the IDF and many of these Israelis that are white Israeli citizens are South Africans,
oh yeah,
large numbers. So, I mean,
yeah,
there's no reason to not believe that there's a large contingent.
and they're going
South
over
Africa
there
is
and
almost
killing.
like, yeah, South Africa is almost like one of the other battlefields against neo-colonialism that is not quite over. I mean, there's still, it's sort of like how Middle East is where the West is winning but haven't quite won. South Africa is where the global South is winning but hasn't quite won.
Yeah.
The other
Oh no, no, the White
direction.
Sox, they're still fighting for it, and they own the country,
Yes,
and they still control the country economically. But it's still a big battle. So basically, and I know this, there are white snipers from South Africa who are Jewish or say they're Jewish, and they go there and they just shoot people for fun and money. So, so,
yeah.
so,
So these are
so the
battlefields of morality that are
so the
going
point
on.
of
And
our show is
how do
just
you
to
see
highlight
that?
this issue. We're not accusing anybody of anything, but we're just to highlight this issue so that we can all be aware of what's going on. Okay, last thoughts, Kunle. Yeah.
Yes, it's been an emotional look at what's going on with the Palestinians in Gaza. It's an ongoing tragedy for us to witness a genocide in our own time. And we are also now witnessing what could be ethnic cleansing. And we see the accuser, South Africa, being accused of it through their leader who has been opposed to it. And we wonder whether it is really him or whether it's some other darker forces from America and Elon Musk. But it's up to you to make your decisions. We've had a look at it, analyzed it, and given you an opportunity for some thought. So from myself and Mustafa, we bid you good night, farewell, adieu. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and we'll see you on the next one.